Hello, my name is Mark Wilkinson. I am the head of the Student Wellbeing and Inclusion Service.
Hi, my name is Napier. I'm the clinical lead counsellor at Napier University.
Hi everyone, I'm Ekamdeep Burma. I'm Students Co-President for Sports and Wellbeing for ENSA.
And today we're going to be discussing lots of aspects about mental health and wellbeing and how students can get support through Napier.
So Nikki, you've been with us about 2 years, I think, since
correct.
you joined us.
Yeah.
And you joined us as a student counsellor. So could you tell us a bit of what drew you into that profession, and why do you think it's so important that we all seek to be mindful of our mental health and prioritise our mental well-being?
Yeah. Well, to give you a bit of context, before I was a counsellor, I was involved in sort of community work with young people, sexual health and emotional health already, and just seeing the impact that has on people's development. And then prior to that, I was in health and nutrition as a dietitian. So for me, your health and your well-being, they go hand in hand. And a lot of times people focus a lot on physical health. You know, if you have an injury or you broke your arm, you would go to the doctor and you would heal it. And I think we're now starting to see that mental well-being is as essential as physical well-being, and that they go hand in hand. And so for me, working as a counsellor and coming to Napier is some degree expressing that and sharing that information, that knowledge, and making that, destigmatizing it, and letting people know that we all experience mental wellness in varying degrees, and conversely, we'll also struggle at different times. So like your health, sometimes you may have a cold or you may feel run down. With your mental health, there'll be times when you're feeling great or you're feeling in a great place, and other times where you may struggle. And a big part of my work is giving people the tools to be able to manage that, to go, okay, this is what I can do if I'm struggling. And that's not just things like mindfulness. It could be joining groups that are in ENSA, so socializing. It could be, am I sleeping enough? What's my diet like? So you're getting a holistic view of being a functioning person to be able to thrive. And so to be able to do that, if you to kind of use the person-centered approach, which is kind of why kind of the discipline I trained under. It's like a plant needs water, it also needs soil, it also needs sunlight. So you wouldn't just say, okay, I've got enough water. It also needs to have these other elements for it to flourish. And I think, prioritizing your mental well-being is part of that, so that you can flourish.
So I think that's an amazing idea. The idea of flourishing.
It's not my metaphor.
It may not be. It may not be. Claim it right now. Because I think that sometimes there is stigma associated with looking for support or assistance with your mental health. But the way you've described it there, it's very much about personal development, about learning, gaining tools, and about managing better in the future. In order not just to, we talk in the student world about fulfilling your potential. But what an amazing idea that we're here to support our students to flourish. It's beautiful. I love that. Ekam, can you tell us a bit about why it's not straightforward for all of our students just to fulfill their potential and to flourish at university? What are the kinds of challenges, maybe particularly for men at university, that can impact on mental well-being?
Our students are not ready to believe that they are not mentally fit all the time. They don't want to agree on this thing. So if you talk about like you should have a therapy, or if something is going wrong, they will think like, oh, maybe they're talking like they're thinking I'm mentally ill or something, and no one is ready to agree on that. The students I met almost. So I think that's the main reason. So we try. So whenever we are doing the campaigns as the ENSA, we are doing the campaigns, or we are trying to we are on the campuses. So whenever there's any chat or something, any regarding to the stress level or something, stress regarding the housing, stress regarding the assignments and stuff like that, we try to signpost them to the Wellbeing service or the ENSA advice service, so that they can get the professional help. Because I know like the advice and the services that you guys or the ENSA advice can provide, that we can't do that. But so I think that's the main reason. That's specifically the man.
I think you're right, because if we think about it doesn't really matter where you're coming from to come to university. It implies a huge change in your life, a big transition. But particularly if you're coming from overseas, you're coming to a different culture. English may not be your first language. You've got to think about where you're going to live. Have you got enough money? Where's the food that I would normally be eating, and where can I buy that from? A different way of studying and learning potentially. There are so many big changes that I think it can be quite a challenge for students to find their feet in their new country and at their new university. And that's why I think it's important that we've got complementary services and different kinds of services that can be quite proactive and reach out to students, as well as those that are maybe more about a student coming to us at the counselling team when they recognise that maybe they're not in a place where they can fulfil that academic potential.
That's right. I think the drop-ins are a great space to sort of what you call almost like a triage. So if someone's a bit unsure of, am I struggling? You know, I do feel like I'm feeling a bit down, but I don't think I'm depressed though. So, you know, you can go along to a drop-in, or you can contact ENSA Advice and have that conversation, say, okay, this is what's going on. And in many cases, you may not need to have further CBT or counselling. It may be signposts to study skills. It may be signposts to keep on track. You may need a letter of support for an extension. Those sort of things will be available to you. And I always think that if you can address things sooner, you have more options. Options are a great thing to have. The longer you leave things, often those options reduce, and there's less opportunity to change your situation or your circumstance.
Would you agree that's one of our key messages for our students today is reach out to us early?
Yes, definitely.
And then you're have a much better chance of engaging with support and services, in order that the bumps in the road might be much smaller than they could be otherwise.
What have you got to lose?
Brilliant, absolutely, You
know,
we've touched a bit on the challenge there associated with, maybe it's about being vulnerable and being a man and being vulnerable, and that's a difficult thing for a lot of blokes. I think it stops them wanting to reach out for help.
Definitely.
Nicky, what's your view on that? How would you persuade a bunch of guys that they should think about their mental health and well-being and make use of services?
Yeah, I mean, I think the word vulnerability is a key word, and what I would say is that to become strong or to develop strength and capacity of strength, that often does require some vulnerability. They almost go hand in hand. For a lot of guys who go to the gym, the reason that they want to get stronger, or how to get stronger, is by working through something that's difficult, by lifting heavier weight to get stronger. So you almost have to go through that process of exploring that vulnerability or that weakness,
and your limits, maybe
your limits, to be able to progress to the next place. So I think being vulnerable actually goes hand in hand with strength. So most people or things that have strength have been vulnerable at some point before they got to that point. And I think recognizing that we all experience vulnerabilities in one way or another, whether that's around our family, it may be around studying or exams, it could be around our financial situation. Once you kind of can identify that, then you can begin the process of addressing it or learning to manage or cope with it.